We weren't trying to kill him.
I'll make a note.
Sure you will.
Traveling somewhere, could be anywhere. There's a coldness in the air, but I don't care.
There are also rumors that you serve Iago Costa, the Ventrue primogen of Las Vegas.
Who told you this bullshit? No, really.
The mysterious and vague hierarchies of the Ventrue clan. I assume this is not true.
No. They don't let me play their reindeer games. I don't get to sit at the cool kids' table during lunchtime with them.
What is your opinion of Mr. Costa?
I would have liked him for Prince one time. I honestly was a little bit surprised he didn't try to lay claim alongside Miss Lovelace and CW and Aragon. Not quite sure who I would have supported in that case, but you know what? It's like Anarch's vote in the matter doesn't mean shit anyway.
Was Prince Wentworth not the person you supported out
He
of
was.
those choices? Oh.
He was. I greatly respected Lovelace because it's like she broke the stranglehold of fear that Aragon had on the city, and other people realized that, hey, maybe I can claim Praxis too. I don't think she would have made a good prince, but I'm glad that she tried to lay claim to it because it opened the gates for others to do so.
So, suppose there were a large migration of Kindred to the domain of Las Vegas, maybe a large coterie or several. How would you address that sort of situation?
This happened once before. When the Sabbat went flooding down and it basically invaded Southern California, we had a lot of refugees come to Vegas. This so-called prince at the time didn't exactly want them here, but the Anarch movement welcomed them in their territory. We knew it was going to be a temporary situation. Yes, it strains resources, and it's not something that can really be allowed to be permanent, but there's always extenuating circumstances.
What would you say that Camarilla's attitude was towards these refugees?
That is probably a more complex question than you have time for. More complex answer, I should say. Because the prince at the time wasn't actually a member of the Camarilla. The prince at the time was, in fact, a Sabbat infiltrator. So he didn't want Anarchs here. Anarchs are his enemy. So when he found out that Anarchs were here, he says, I don't want Anarchs passing through my territory. So I flew them over it.
Would you say that the Camarilla would be more concerned about a new population here than the Anarchs?
The population of who?
New Kindred. Not Sabbat.
I think... Don't misunderstand my generosity as a lack of concern. There are definite resource considerations to take into effect. There is a limited mortal population that we can feed on. Now, Vegas happens to have a high mortal turnover, being one of the biggest tourist destinations in the world, but we can still only go so far with that. So, just because in a pinch we can welcome some people in doesn't mean that that's always something that can happen, especially not for a prolonged period of time.
Mr. President, what do you think a leader owes to his people, and what do they owe to him?
They owe each other trust. His people have to trust that he truly has their best interest at heart, that he's not going to needlessly put them into danger, and he has to trust that when he asks them to do something, that it gets done, and that he doesn't betray that trust. That kind of trust is built on communication. I know it's kind of antithetical in our society where we all barter and trade secrets, but communication's the center of that. You gotta be open and honest with your people, and they can do the same with you. If they know why they're doing something, they're more likely to trust you when you say you need to go do something. They also owe each other loyalty. They need to know that when the shit hits the fan, they've got each other's backs.
It sounds like the leadership of this city has been somewhat lacking.
The leadership here has changed roughly every 3 months. Is it any wonder why the neonates of the Camarilla are flocking to the stability of the Anarch movement right now? We've had several people leave the Camarilla and come to us because they wanted the stability of the Anarchs. What does that say? This city, I hope CW can bring it. I hope that this city needs some stability from the Camarilla right now. After all we've been going through with the Hunters, yeah, this city needs that stability.
But do you regret it?
Taking up president? Sometimes. I get to miss out on some of the fun parties and shit, long rides and all that. There's always some fucking excuse not to go. There's always something getting in the fucking way. Let's see. See if I think of an example here. Oh, like this interview. Leland wants me to do this interview, but now I gotta find out what kind of mind game he's trying to play with me, just so we can get one up on fucking felony in his search for salvation. Fuck that! No one should have that thing.
What is salvation?
Salvation is a power that no one should have. I don't think anyone on this planet is responsible enough to handle it.
Well, thank you for your time, President Dunn.
No, thank you. And you know what? You've taken some of my time. I'm going to ask that I take just a little bit of yours. If you could deliver just a short message to Leland and Felony and Mad Dog and any of the others who would try to use us as pawns. It ends now. We're not your fucking pawns. We're not playing your fucking game. Stay the fuck away from salvation. It needs to be left alone. That's it. Short message.
I've made a note.
Sure you did.
Traveling somewhere, could be anywhere. There's a coldness in the air, but I don't care. We drift deeper, and life goes on. We drift deeper into the sound.